Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Listen in as we journey to some of Italy's most beautiful places in the company of those who know them best, the families who grow grapes and make fabulous wines. Through their stories, we will learn not just about their wines, but also about their ways of life, the local and regional foods and specialities that pair naturally with their wines, and the most beautiful places to visit. We have a wonderful journey of discovery ahead of us, and I hope you will join me. Welcome to Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Today we travel to South Tyrol, Alto Adige, Italy's northernmost German-speaking region, to meet my guest, friend, and fellow Italian wine ambassador, Elmar Hofer, who is now the head sommelier at the acclaimed 3-star Michelin restaurant San Hubertus in the Rosa Alpina Hotel, located in the heart of the stunningly beautiful Italian Dolomites. Ciao Elmar, how are you today?
Ciao Marco, hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. The sun is shining here in England today, so it's a nice day here. Elmar, tell us a little bit about your background, because I know you had a completely different and a very exciting career before you became a sommelier.
Well, my life before becoming sommelier, my life was a little bit different in a lot of ways. I actually was a professional alpine skier for around 15 years, and quitted in 2011 after a few decisions to take because getting older, a few injuries and so on. I had to make a decision. And
What discipline did you ski in?
I was basically downhill and super G.
Wow.
Made a few World Cup races, a few European Cup.
Wow, that's crazy. That must have been an amazing career. As a professional athlete, was food and wine important to you? Did you have to watch your diet? Were you able to enjoy wine?
I was able, but always in a small quantity, of course. And food was a really big matter. Of course, you had to watch your what you're eating, keeping on diet and so on.
Just so you kept super fit.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, downhill skiing, I think, is watching it both in person. I've seen some races, and also on the television. It seems one of the most dangerous adrenaline-fueled activities. How have you replaced that thrill today?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think you cannot really replace this adrenaline kicks what you got during a race or during a downhill. It's really difficult because you're living in a whole completely other world. And so my life got a little bit easier, let's say that, and quieter. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can imagine that, where you don't even have a second to think as you're racing down the mountain. Now, did you always have an interest in and a love of wine? And after you retired from your career as an alpine skier, did you immediately turn to wine as a profession?
The interest was always there also during my career as a skier. But after I quit it, 2011, the first few years I was still, I made my instructor, my ski instructor, my ski coach examinations and everything. Worked a few years also as ski coach for young children under 16. And slowly during this period, I came a little bit to know more about wine. And then 2014, my wife, my girlfriend, now wife, pushed me a little bit and said, "So let's try this. If you really like this sector, let's try it. Start to make a sommelier course in Alto Adige. See if you like it." And I got stuck in the business.
Wow, that's amazing. I guess being from Alto Adige, this is where you grew up. You were always immersed in that gastronomic culture that's such a part of life. The enjoyment of good food and wine would have been something you grew up with.
Absolutely. Alto Adige has a really different culture than the rest of Italy. Basically, speaking everybody German as mother language, and there's the German influence, but a lot of Italian influence, absolutely from the side of the food. So it's really interesting, this mixture, this combination, and really nice, interesting. Yes,
That mixture that you find in the wine itself, which we'll talk about.
also in the wine itself. Yes.
Now, you've actually achieved a huge amount in a short space of time. You're a VIA Italian wine ambassador. You gained your certified AIS Sommelier qualification. You've been a judge for five-star wines. You're now enrolled in the Court of Master Sommeliers. And you're soon to be taking over this important position as head sommelier in one of the very best restaurants in Italy, a place that has an incredible wine list. How did you achieve this? Did you naturally have a really good palate? And what do you think is most essential to be a good sommelier?
Well, I think it's a combination of many factors to be, or what makes a sommelier successful. I would say the palate, it's one of the most important things to have, but you have to train it in a long time of your life, of your sommelier life, and there you have a hunger to learn, to taste different styles, to never stop experimenting, so you can grow a little bit. I think I'm just at the beginning of my career, and keep going on, tasting, and improving your knowledge about wine. It's fundamental in this business. And then, of course, the hunger to never stop learning and keep you up to date, because the wine business is moving so fast along, changing basically every day. So you have to keep studying, and that's a little bit what makes a sommelier. And then, of course, you have to have a little bit of luck as well, to get to meet the right persons, and to have a little bit the right influence from the right persons, so you can improve even more in this business. And I think, as I said, you learn swimming in a deep water. Just sometimes you have to try yourself out, and to go a little bit over your limit to get better.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. In at the deep end, and you certainly are in at a very serious deep end in really one of the most beautiful places you could be working, at the Rosa Alpina, in the heart of the Dolomites, in the heart of the ski country. So I guess you feel very at home there in the winters. Tell us about this special place.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful place, especially in winter, but also summertime now. I learn even more appreciating the summer times in the Dolomites, because it's you can do everything. You can go biking, hiking, running. It's really a beautiful place over there.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful, winter and summer.
Absolutely.
Elmar, you work with a great chef in the restaurant San Hubertus, with Norbert Niederkofler. What's he like to work with?
Norbert, our chef, it's let's say really inspiring. If you think back in the time when he started now his new philosophy, he was a little bit in front of the time. So you can say he was a little bit a pioneer of this philosophy of the sustainable kitchen in the fine dining sector, and it's really inspiring to see him work, and also to work with him.
So the front of house team works closely with the kitchen team then?
Absolutely. I think on this level, where we are, three stars Michelin, you have to work really closely with the kitchen. It's has to be a teamwork. Otherwise, it's not working. You have to be synchronized, front of house team with the kitchen team. If not, you cannot not achieve this level.
Now, you've mentioned Norbert's belief in sustainability and provenance, and this philosophy behind the concept cook the mountain. Explain a little bit about what that means, cook the mountain.
Okay, let's say cook the mountain. It's his philosophy starting to evolve in 2008. 2007, he got his second star with a completely different kitchen than it's now what we have. So 2008, he rethink a little bit his philosophy, and coming back to his origins, let's say like this. Our philosophy is this: we taking just local products, or let's say products of the mountain regions, coming 90% of the products what we are using in our restaurant completely from our region, from Alto Adige. The rest, 10% from the mountain regions, going over to Bergamo, but also Veneto and Friuli, Venezia Giulia. So we're staying in the mountain regions, and this keeps us a little bit different from other restaurants in the area.
That's amazing. 100% then from the mountain, this alpine environment. So it's a really specific local cuisine that he's honed with relationships with the producers.
Absolutely. It's a cooperation with really small producers. We are buying directly from them, so there's no intermediate buyer seller. We can talk to them directly. It's a lot of work because you have to plan ahead, of course, because we are using only that what the nature is giving us. So depending also a little bit of the time in the year, our menu in the restaurant changes a lot, especially during summertime. Can be that every second day we have new dishes on the menu, because we get some new herbs, new vegetables, and so on. In the wintertime, it's a little bit more steady, let's say, because we have to reuse everything what we worked to, or what the kitchen worked during the summertime.
Well, that's amazing. And I would imagine then if the menu is changing, can change that frequently in summer months, for example, that one of the most interesting aspects of your work as a sommelier is tasting and discovering and discussing the perfect pairings for the wines to enhance and accompany the foods. How difficult is it to continually come up with the perfect pairings for of wines and foods?
Quite difficult, let's say, because sometimes we have really complex dishes with a lot of different flavors and acidity levels, so giving a little bit difficulty also to us, to the whole sommelier stuff, finding always the perfect matching. That's why we are not only using wine, we have also some beer in the pairing, and yeah.
Wow, that's really fascinating. Now, this philosophy behind Cook the Mountain of sustainability, local provenance, seasonality, it would seem to me that this would favor pairings with the local wines, the great wines of South Tyrol, Alto Adige, and there's certainly no shortage of them where you are. You have an extensive wine list from your own area. Tell us about some of your favorite wines and what South Tyrol has to uniquely offer on the Italian wine list.
Well, in Alto Adige, basically we have everything covered. We're going from sparkling wine, classic method, white wines, red wines, to sweet wines. We cover basically the whole palette. My favorite wines, if you're going white wine, I would say it's Pinot Bianco, really special and important to our region. One of the most important white wines what we are producing in Alto Adige. And afterwards, when we're talking about red wines, of course, we have to mention our two native grape varieties, the Fernache, Schiava, and afterwards the Lagrein.
Yeah, and so those are very much food wines, wines that can, and of course, the different expressions of Schiava, for example, can be a fresher style or a more deep style depending on the dish.
Exactly, yeah, because depending also a little bit on the producers, we have this really light, fresh, fruit-forward style from the Schiava, but then we have also a little bit more structured, more mature, evolved Schiava style that matches then also a little bit better the meats or a light fish dish.
What does Pinot Bianco have that you think makes it a truly great white wine in its, in its best expressions?
I think it's a very balanced wine, nice acidity, but giving also a nice minerality in the wine, and this nicely fruit flavors, fruit characters, making it really, really easy to compare or to pair with dishes.
Now, you mentioned that being a sommelier means you never stop learning. You're exploring wines from around the world, learning about wines from around the world. Sant Hubertus has a very impressive wine list, including some of the greatest wines from all over the world. What are some of your other favorite wines and wine regions, and perhaps areas that also can pair well with the Cook the Mountain menu?
Yeah, our wine list is really really great, really a huge wine list, and all this was only possible because of the love of our restaurant manager and former head chef, head sommelier, Lucas Garges. He's really a great guy. He teach me a lot, and still looking forward to work the next few years with him to improve myself. And if we're talking of other wine regions, for sure, at the moment, German Riesling, it's one of my really favorites when we're talking about white wines. And then there we are going from the Mosel region to down Rheinhessen, Rheingau, and also Nahe region. There are really some outstanding wines, and they are fitting very well our menu actually as well, because this nice acidity giving a little bit of balance to our dishes, let's say like this.
Mainly in the Trocken style, or can the sweeter wines also pair well?
We are pairing also some sweeter wines. We have for example, a dish. It's our tripe, and there we are serving Riesling Auslese, because this sweetness fitting very well to this fatty dish.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
And then, if you are talking about the red wine, let's say, of course, next to the Italian wines from Piedmont and all over Tuscany and the rest of Italy, uh, I would say I would be in France and in Burgundy at the moment with some really nice Pinot Noirs.
Those beautiful classic expressions of Burgundy. Elmar, you said learning is never ending in the world of wine and food. What is next for you? How are you going to keep progressing?
Well, the next big step is taking a certified exam for the Court of Master. It will be end of July.
So that's a big exam. Then the Court of Master Sommelier is a very high qualification. Is that involving a lot of study?
Yes, a lot of study at the moment. So fortunately, I have a little bit of free time now because we are closed at the moment with the restaurant. Just reopening 1st of June, so I have a lot of free time, let's say like this, and helps me a little bit to going easier with the study. And then afterwards, I guess I do my WSET diploma. I just made the level 3 last year, so I will go for the level 4 and the diploma afterwards.
Yeah, all very high qualifications. And as you say, the world of wine is evolving at such pace. It's incredible just in Italy how things change so quickly. So it is essential to keep learning.
What the last let's say the last decade was so many changes, and it's keeping evolving. And if you not be up to date, it's really difficult to work in that sector.
Yeah, I mean, for example, Elmar, when we were in Etna together for the Gita Scholastica, I mean, it was incredible how some of those wonderful wineries we visited were so recent, so young, producing such great wines.
Yeah, absolutely. This was amazing trip, and we met a lot of really nice persons, people, young wineries. And if you think back in 10 years ago, 12 years ago, Etna was almost abandoned it, but now it's really coming back and coming back strong.
Yeah, certainly is. Final question, Elmar. When you're not working, what do you enjoy doing most?
Well, besides of eating and drinking wine, let's say I'm still moving myself a lot of sport in summer times, for sure. Of course, hiking, running up in the mountains, but also biking, playing tennis, golf, and in winter time, when I have time, I appreciate to have a nice ski day or ski alpinism, going up through the woods and then skiing down in the fresh powder.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a wonderful balance of life that you've created for yourself.
Yeah, you have to have a little bit this life balance, because if you just work sometime, it's going to be too much and you will not be at the top level you want to be. So this balance. You were biking as well a lot. I saw you last week. You was in Portugal, right?
I was biking in Portugal. Yeah.
Yeah. So you keep you fit as well. So you know what I'm talking about.
Well, Elmar, it's been really great to catch up with you, to hear about all your life and your plans. And I really hope we can meet again soon. I just want to wish you all the best with your future plans, with the reopening of Rosa Alpina in June, and your work as the head sommelier there. It's been a real pleasure, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Mark. It was a pleasure also for me, and thank you for having me. And yes, let's hope to see you soon.
That would be great. Okay.
Absolutely.
Ciao for now.
Thank you. Ciao.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Wine, Food and Travel with me, Marc Millon, on Italian Wine Podcast. Please remember to like, share and subscribe right here or wherever you get your pods. Likewise, you can visit us at italianwinepodcast.com. Until next time, chin chin.
Guys, I'm Joy Livingston and I am the producer of the Italian Wine Podcast. Thank you for listening. We are the only wine podcast that has been doing a daily show since the pandemic began. This is a labor of love and we are committed to bringing you free content every day. Of course, this takes time and effort, not to mention the cost of equipment, production, and editing. We would be grateful for your donations, suggestions, requests, and ideas. For more information on how to get in touch, go to italianwinepodcast.com.